Yo, what's the word? What's the word, man? I know. I don't even go live late night. But I feel like this is a dope conversation to have. I told y'all I would be expanding the channel. I told y'all I would be expanding in the channel and just talking about new things um that I'm interested in, talk about new experiences and talk about the topics that I'm paying attention to in my life. And I hope a topic that everybody is paying attention to is the presidential debate that just went down. Salute to everybody. If you're brand new to the channel, please thumbs up the channel. Even if you're not, thumbs up the channel, man. Share out the broadcast. It definitely helps the video. Like I said, be honest with you. I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. We're gonna start being vulnerable on this channel. Start talking, having real life conversations. So when it comes to me and politics, like politics is not something that, you know what I'm saying, I'm in tune with. It's not something that I'm highly educated on. It's a subject just like anybody else. I feel like any average American, we care about what impacts us first and foremost. And politics is always been this like pie in the sky idea. It's never been something that I felt like I could have impact on. You know how they told you like your vote matters. I'm like, man, one vote matters. Like, come on, son. Like, what are we talking about? But you know what I'm saying? As you get older, as you start to educate yourself, I mean, even with the, you know what I'm saying, obviously, even when Barack Obama becoming president, I'm not about to be ashamed to say it. I voted for Barack because he's black. I couldn't tell you about a policy. I couldn't. I couldn't tell you about a policy. I can just tell you about a feeling. And it felt good to see a black man in office. It felt good to see someone who looked like me be in a position of power, which I had never seen before. So you know what I'm saying? I clamped on to that, just like most, I feel like African Americans. But again, as you get older, as you want to have more of an educated opinion, and a more of an intentional conversation, politics is something that you can't walk away from. If you're a parent, you got to care about politics because politics is all politics and laws are all in the education system. They're taking away things. They're taking away topics of the education. They're changing American history in real time, and um, they're not being quiet about it. They're being very, very, very vocal about what they're doing. When you start thinking about things like the critical race theory and things like that. But when it comes to this particular election with upcoming with Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, I was very interested, man. This was the first debate I ever sat down and actually watched. Make sure y'all hit the likes, man. Again, this is something that I'm doing different. I want to talk to y'all about other things other than battle rap. But I want to say shout out to John John. I want to say shout out to John John and shout out to everybody at Politics as Usual because I feel like this is what he brought the media for. Like, yeah, we had a good time. We ate some 24 karat gold steak. You know what I'm saying? We drank a lot of alcohol and we had a lot of laughs and there was a lot of money passed out. By the way, the mayor still owe me $2,000, but that's a whole different blog. That's a whole different blog. You better hope Hitman don't take no interview with me. So I'm definitely gonna tell him about that. Never mind. But I think this is what John John wanted us to do. As black men, as people in media who went to politics as usual, you got your flight paid for, you got your hotel paid for. You're supposed to come back and share out that education. You're supposed to use your platform to educate your community and our community. You know, especially when it comes to this upcoming election. So I pretty much I watched the whole thing from beginning to end. You know what I'm saying? I didn't turn it off. I went in there with as much of an unbiased opinion as I felt like I possibly could. Not to say again that my opinion was unbiased, but I tried my best. I tried my best. You know what I'm saying? I can't sit here and say that everything I was not unbiased to when Donald Trump said certain things, or even when Kamala Harris said certain things. I can't sit here and say it wasn't certain things that didn't make me cringe on both sides. But I tried to go into this debate with an unbiased opinion. So I just want to kind of like highlight some of the things that it kind of stuck out for me on both sides. Some of the topics that was talked about. Please in the comment section, if it's something that maybe you had a question about pertaining to Donald Trump or pertaining to Kamala Harris. If it's something you felt a certain type of way, I'll bring up your comments. I'll play it. You know what I'm saying? This is for us, man. We having a conversation again. This is what we should be talking about. You know what I'm saying? Battle rap is battle rap. Sports is sports. But this is our real life. You know what I'm saying? What decision that's made in November is going to impact battle rap. It's going to impact sports. It's going to impact how we go to work. It's going to impact how we show up for our kids. It's going to impact how we show up for our communities and how we show up for the people that we love. And the people that we love, the people that I love, is a topic that I care about. And so, you know what I'm saying? Hit the likes. I appreciate everybody pulling up. Like I said, I'm going to expand this channel. We're going to talk about more than just battle rap because I feel like my community wants to hear about more than just battle rap. And I feel like y'all want to hear it from me. So I appreciate everybody that pulled up. I really do. We're gonna get to it. So one of the things that stood out for me that Donald Trump initially said is that he felt like he handled the pandemic amazingly. Now he can't be the pandemic that I was just going through, the one that he didn't want to deny, the one that he was slow to react to. Now, again, all of this is my opinion, but it's also my experience. It was letting certain states, you know what I'm saying, walk around with no mask. It was letting not, and I think sometimes, honestly, when it came to Donald Trump in the pandemic, I felt like he didn't want to take a solid stance on it, so he passed it to the states. He put the power in the states, which in some circumstances, I ain't got no problem with. I want the state to have more power. I want our vote to matter more, and it matters more on a state level. So you got to be educated on your local and state government as well. But to say that he handled the pandemic amazingly is a lie. We're not about to do that. For someone who didn't want to stand in the fire of that, he didn't want to show leadership in that moment. You deflected your leadership. You delegated your leadership out amongst your foot soldiers and had them decide for themselves. So it wasn't no longer people mad at the president. People was mad at governors. People was mad at Board of Education because some high school districts was allowing sports and some wasn't allowing sports. You let the pandemic divide people. When at that point in time we needed leadership, we was facing something that we had never seen. I had never had to stand outside of Walmart and treat it like it was a finish line Jordan release. I had to do that during the pandemic. I had to get up at 4 in the morning and stand outside Walmart to make sure I had toilet paper and Clorox. I remember going to them grocery stores and going to them department stores and seeing empty shelves. I remember people losing jobs. I remember all of that. So to say I remember the loss of life. The senseless, in my opinion, the senseless loss of life. Because we were so slow to react. So I definitely didn't like that take by him saying he handled it amazingly. I don't agree with that. Promise no longer no higher prices when it came to tariffs. Claims the countries will pay the tariffs. Now that was the big that was one of the big debate when it came to resources. You know what I'm saying? Kamala saying that she's willing to give money back to the people. She's willing to give middle class families tax breaks, tax cuts. If you having a child, she's willing to invest in your family, give you $6,000 for that new child in the first year, just to help, just to support. As someone who has a son on the way who's expecting his second child, that's news to my ears. I know how it's $5,000 after insurance just to have a baby, and that's if everything goes correctly. And we know, especially when it pertains to African American women, we know what the dangers and the risk of just having child or just giving or having children can be for African American women. They're already at a higher risk of health complication when it comes to delivery. Post preeclampsia is a thing. So I like what Kamala was saying by that. Now Trump's saying the taxes wouldn't fall on the American people. It would fall on the countries. My questions is, why would the countries all of a sudden, if they haven't been paying for 75 years, if they haven't been paying for this amount of time, why are they all of a sudden going to start to pay you? What are you giving them? What are you providing to them that's now going to say now they're going to pay their debts? Now they're going to be okay with bigger taxes on products coming into the U.S. Because I got to think they got to get that money back from somewhere. If you take money from me because of taxes, let me take money from elsewhere. Let me take money elsewhere. I'm going to get money elsewhere. So if we're taxing countries on products coming in, we're taxing them higher to bring in their products. I'm pretty sure they're going to tax us higher when we want to bring in ours to their country. So a little confusing for me. Again, I'm not into the politics. I just watching them and I'm reacting to what I'm seeing and how I'm feeling in the moment. You said just like Mexico is going to pay for the wall. Yeah, like, sir. And I know a lot. You know what I'm saying. Donald Trump did a lot of bragging and a lot of boasting when it came to the status of the economy when he left presidency. Let's make no mistake about it. Your quote unquote success of the presidency was actually off of the things that President Obama did. It was like you kind of got grandfathered into that. Now, you know what I'm saying? I know that might sound, well, how did he get grandfathered into that if he was there when all the success was happening? Let me break this down to you very simply. The Golden State Warriors, Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson is the creator of the Golden State Warriors as they were constructed before they started winning championship. He put them pieces together. He got Steph Curry. He went and got Klay Thompson. He went and got Draymond Green. He was the architect of that team. Steve Kerr came in and got grandfathered into that situation. He got the success of what Mark Jackson established. Those bricks, those pillars he established, the fruits of his labor was captured by Steve Kerr, respectfully. Let's see. Kamala talked about China when she's talking about Trump. She said that he helped strengthen China's military. I think that's something that's very damning if that is true. You know what I'm saying? Giving China already leaps and bounds better than us when it comes to so many different things, when it comes to technology, when it comes to education. We don't need to be pouring into other countries. We need to pour into ourselves. Again, I'm not into politics. I'm just giving you my personal opinion. I see people in my country that are homeless that need resources. I know communities across this country that could use extra money, could use more job opportunities, could use, you know what I'm saying, better healthcare packages in this country. So why are we going helping everybody else, trying to fix everybody else's problems? I've never understood. So maybe as a black man, that's maybe why I haven't played so much in the politics. I never paid so much attention to it because it felt like we was too busy in everybody else's business, trying to fix everybody else's problems and not fixing our own. Hit the likes, man. Hit the likes. Like I said, we're gonna talk more. We're gonna have more honest dialogue. I'm giving you my thoughts and my reactions when it pertains to this debate, man. Shout out to everybody that pulled up, man. I really appreciate it. What else did he say? Kamala says she wants to be a leader in technology in the 21st century. She said we should not be walking in cahoots with China. Better yet, we should be competing for the top spot when it comes to leading in the field of technology, figuring out how we can catch up and surpass what China's already doing. I did like that. They then got into abortion rights. Now, abortion rights is a very sensitive subject, and a sensitive subject that obviously, if you've been paying attention to politics maybe in the past 12 months, especially if you're a woman, you know about Roe versus Wade and the reversal and the trauma that has caused to women that have gotten pregnant by, you know what I'm saying, some very, I would just say, either very organic or non-organic ways. You know what I'm saying? I believe it is my belief that at the end of the day, it should be up to that woman to decide what she does with her body. I don't believe a government, whether on the state level or a national level, a federal level, should be deciding how a woman should be handling and treating and the decisions that she makes when it comes to her body, because at the end of the day, that's hers. Um, we don't have to live with that decision. She do. And so, you know, President, former President Trump has been going back and forth with when it comes to abortions. He's been going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? He said he agrees with it. He says he doesn't agree with it. He got a vice president that's saying that he's willing to veto it. He's saying if abortion rights, well, first of all, there's 20 states that don't even allow abortion, which is crazy. That was something that I didn't know until tonight. 20 states out of all of the states in the United States of America do not allow abortion. I mean, that's scary in itself. What if you have a woman that was ARD? What if you have a woman that was, you know what I'm saying, taken advantage of, and she's with child with her attacker? She has to leave the state. She has to fly to a doctor to a city that she doesn't know, to a facility she's never been at, to try to get the procedure that she would like to on her own body, using her own sound judgment, her own decision making. Donald Trump's back and forth on that was jarring to me. Kamala, obviously, as a woman, she's going to defend, or she's going to side, and she's going to empower women, empower their votes, empower their voice, empower their choice to make their own decision. So I mean, I got to roll with her on that. I don't think there's anything really to talk about. Decision to compare student. Now, this is what I will say. And I gotta give Donald Trump, you did a good job counterpunching with this one. When she brought that up, you were like, well, that's just like the empty promise of student loan forgiveness. Yeah, you're gonna say you're gonna reverse the decision, and you're gonna sign that national that you're gonna sign that document, that executive order to reverse that decision. But he's saying, why would you do that now? But you didn't do what you did the last time. Why should the people believe you now when you said y'all were gonna forgive student loans across the board? That ain't happening. So why should the American people believe you now? And I am someone who will go back in history and look at your past actions and at least question myself. Should I believe him this time around? If you said you was gonna do something for me and you weren't able to do it, should I believe you this time around? Just because you're saying it now, are you saying it just because it's voting season? Because it's a hot topic? And I think that's, again, when you talk about politics as an African American, specifically politics as a Black man, it's you come around the community, you come around me when you need my vote. You come around me when you need something from me, when you need my attention, when you need my support, when you need my dollars. The moment you get where you gotta go, I don't see you no more. These text messages I keep getting, they cease to exist once you get your seat. And it goes for anybody. That ain't just for Kamala or Trump. That's for anybody in politics. My personal experience, yeah, y'all come to the church when it's time to get the votes. But the moment you get that seat, the moment you get what you want out the deal, we don't see you anymore. You're not doing your rounds. You're not doing the same amount of interviews. You're not having the same type of conversations with the people in the community. That's how I feel about it. One thing I will say is that when the moderator asked Donald Trump a specific question regarding would he sign a national vetoing act, he never said that he would not do it. And it was a direct question. It was there a yes or no? It was a yes or no. He deflected all the way. And that's one thing I will say about that. Donald Trump to me did a lot of deflecting throughout this debate. He did a lot of gossiping and throwing out narratives in this debate, but he didn't talk about, for me personally, he didn't talk about what his campaign was being ran on. When I heard Kamala talk tonight, she put an emphasis on small businesses. She put an emphasis on the middle class. She put an emphasis on women's rights. She put an emphasis on being a leader of all men, regardless of political party. Now, whether we believe her or not is a completely different thing. But those are the things that I can say that she's standing on with her campaign. With Donald Trump, it was more so, I felt like, in my opinion, it was more so trying to slander Kamala. It was trying to scare the American people, talking about bringing up narratives about Aurora, Colorado, where the Venezuelans allegedly had taken over these communities, talking about immigrants eating community pets, eating animals. But when the community leaders come out and speak out against what Donald Trump is saying, he deflects. He either deflects or he says that's fake news. He doesn't believe it. So it's like I went in this with an unbiased opinion. I went in this with an unbiased ear. I'm willing to listen. I'm taking notes. I'm looking over here. I'm taking notes. But what I didn't take notes on was the slander. What I didn't take notes on was the belittlement. What I didn't take notes on was the gossip. I wanted to stick to the facts. I wanted to stick to the topics that I care about, that I will be voting on in November. I no longer want to vote for a political party just because I'm Black, or vote for a political party just because my money says I'm in this certain demographic. I want to be educated on the decisions that I make. One thing I will say about Trump that I do like, and I gotta be honest with you. He's willing to fire people. Now I know that might be harsh to say, but I'm also a strong believer. If you're not getting the job done, if I hired you to do a job and you don't do the job, why would I continue to pay you? Why would I continue to financially support this contract, this partnership, if what I asked for you to deliver, you're not delivering? So when Kamala talked about all the former representatives that was a part of his staff, a part of his circle, a part of his administration that Donald Trump subsequently fired. Now, whether the reason was just or not, in my eyes, I'm not the one who hired him. I'm not the one who hired him. So if the person that hired him says they're not doing the job that they paid for, and he feels like they need to be fired, I ain't got a problem with that. I'm not, as an entrepreneur, I'm not going to continue to pay an employee for work that is not being done. I'm not going to continue to pay a distributor for a certain quality t-shirt if I don't get that certain quality of t-shirt. So I do appreciate that about Donald Trump. I can't lie. He said being from New York, knowing Trump does not have the interest of the country in mind is how he can remain rich and out of jail. I mean, again, I'll say this. A lot of the talks, I think where Trump really, if you were a fan of Trump, I think Trump's strong point in the debates was when he talked about foreign affairs and we talked about foreign relations. But my thing is this, Donald Trump, if you have so much power that you feel like you can make one phone call to Putin, or and you can stop the war. You can stop the war in Iran. You can stop the war in Iraq. You can stop all this tension amongst these countries. If you feel like you could do that even before presidency, which is what you said, why don't you do it now? If you really care about the American people, you don't need it. If I can do something to bring world peace, I don't need a title to do it if I know I can do it. If I'm truly if bringing peace is what I truly want, is the betterment of the world is what my overall goal and mission and vision is, I don't need a title to do that. If I can say I can make one phone call here, one phone call here, let's hop on a Zoom session for 35 minutes, have a breakout session and call it good. I think that's what's frustrating me, because I'm gonna call your bluff. If you saying you can do it before you president, then do it now. You would get my vote. Pull it off now. You said it's federal law that he cannot speak to another country on behalf of the U.S. Until he wins the election. But what I'm saying is, okay, and that's again, this is why I say I don't know nothing about the federal laws and when it comes to the government and things of that nature. This is just my honest opinions. And I'm saying if you can help someone, if you can help a country that you live in, you know what I'm saying? You got Dennis Rodman going over to China, going over to China as an ambassador for America. If you can call Putin up, and you ain't even got to say it's off the strength of the U.S. people, say it's off the strength of you. If that's your homie, that's your friend, that's your confidant. But again, if it's law saying that you can't even have that type of conversation until you win presidency, oh, it's North Korea. I'm sorry. Again, if it's law saying that you cannot win that presidency, you cannot have those type of conversations until you fill that seat as the chief of staff, then why would you say you would do it as president-elect? I can only, you know what I'm saying? Why would you say you can do it as president-elect? You already setting me up for failure. You setting me up for disappointment at that point. So interesting, and thank you, so bro. Definitely appreciate you. Trump also tried to say that he talked about the his deportation proposal to deport 11 million immigrants. First of all, it's a lot of people, and I'm cool. And I think as Americans, holistically, we do not have a problem with people coming into our country. It is the manner in which they come into the country. When you're looking, if you're as an American citizen, when you seeing your finances, your dollars being spent elsewhere outside of your community to support other people, it makes you double take. You know what I'm saying? As I can be as community activist as I want to be, but if I know people that are not working getting more opportunities than I did to get opportunities, I mean, at least gonna be like, huh, something to look into. Something to look into. But obviously, when it comes to the border and it comes to immigration, a lot of what Donald Trump said was just wrong and incorrect. And when you have moderators that are telling you that it's incorrect, that your source is incorrect, and you still standing on something that you cannot prove yourself, that's dangerous. That's absolutely dangerous. He talked about the economy. Donald Trump talked about the economy and why he feels like it's so bad, and current inflation and things of that nature. One of the things that I don't understand. So they asked Kamala about her values and her values being changed. As an adult over time, should your values change? As you get older, as you get wiser, as you gain more worldly experience, more professional experience, should your values evolve? Should your aspirations, should your thoughts, should your desires, should your hopes and dreams evolve? So, bro, you said you live in Arizona for the past 3 years, and you personally don't see a crisis that wasn't already there since the 80s. And I mean, like, again, how are we? There's no, to my knowledge, there's no one standing at the border with a clicker. You know what I'm saying? So even the numbers that we assume when we talk about illegal immigrants coming over to this country by way of boat, you know what I'm saying, land, water, ship, sea, however they get over here. How do we know those numbers if we don't have anyone physically counting them as they come in and cross those borders? These are just things that I think about when you throw out you're going to get 11 million people and that's going to make a dent. Like, how do you know 11 million people is going to make a dent? Like, how can you say that? Did 11 million people just come in to the United States this year? And then, like, again, you're going to talk about you try to highlight all the illegal immigrants that come over and do bad things, but what about the ones that do great things? It's a lot of jobs that even Americans don't want to do, that immigrants is willing to do for better opportunity, for just a chance of a better lifestyle and a better living. Again, I don't know how you fix, you know what I'm saying, the situation when it comes to immigrants, and I don't know how you monitor that. I don't. But I do know we need to be very careful with how we talk about those people. We need to be very careful about how those people are presented to us, because it can easily be a us versus them. You can turn it, and Trump is doing it. He's making it a us versus them. It's the American people versus the immigrants. But we all immigrants. I thought we was all immigrants. Hell, my people came over on a boat. I don't know too many people that was actually here. We all immigrants. We all came from somewhere for the most part. So again, these are the things that I think about. Donald Trump completely deflected the January 6th event, and I don't understand why. If I was you, Donald Trump, I would own it. Everybody know you sent the people in. Everybody know the people acted on your words, your narrative, your persuasion, your power, your potential, your eventual loss of power. People were upset by that, and you fueled them. You were the straw that brought the camels back on January 6th. For you to even see the things that you did, and as a black man, you know, I've seen community rallies. I've seen peaceful rallies. I've seen more damage done in peaceful rallies than I did on January 6th, where I saw American democracy challenged, where I saw people scaling walls and scaling gates and not adhering to police officers' orders, and not abiding by local federal law, local, you know what I'm saying, local judicial federal laws. I saw all of that on January 6th. I didn't see no bullets, respectfully. I didn't see no tear gas. Hell, I barely saw fists being thrown. You can't say that you didn't invoke and incite a riot on January 6th, Donald Trump. You can't say you didn't invoke and incite a riot, because I was there. I saw it. I sat here in my man cave and I watched it. I watched people break into the Oval Office, put their feet up on desks that they didn't even have a clearance to be in the room at. We saw American democracy challenged in a way that we had never seen. And they acted off of your words. And you know how much trauma, you know how much devastation, you know how much tragedy came out of that. You didn't do nothing wrong. You wouldn't change nothing. Come on, my boy. Um, you passed a lot of blame. You passed blame on what was it Nancy? I don't even know how to say her last name. Pelosi, Pelosi. You passed a lot of blame on her, saying that you offered 10,000 military soldiers, and she said no. I wouldn't have said no to you. I would have said no to your help too. At that point in time, you started it. How you gonna start it and then seeing your people in there? You could have sent them same 10,000 people you was going to send. You could have sent them in there when you saw it get so bad. I believe if you would have sent them 10,000 people, it would have just been adding on to the riot. They would have been adding on and inciting even more chaos, even more turmoil. There would have been even more destruction. I can't say more violence because there was no bullets. There was no tear gas. I can't say more violence. I thought it was a very interesting debate overall, though. I thought it was a very interesting debate overall. Donald Trump, to me, had no plan. He had no mission and no vision. He knew he spent more time trying to debunk Kamala than prove his own point and tell me why I should vote for him. Even in situations that he's been against, like the Obamacare Act. You've been against that for 9 years, my boy. Damn near a decade. You say you hate it. You say it's the worst insurance that we can possibly have, and that it doesn't help. But yet 9 years of investigation, 9 years of trying to defame it, 9 years of saying how inefficient it is. You don't even have a plan. You have some ideas floating around in your head, but nothing on paper. But you said in a couple of weeks you're gonna have the answers. Just like Kamala's gonna veto that decision. She's gonna put the power back into the federal government when it comes to abortion and not the state. A lot of back and forth, man. Like I said, it was some cattiness in there. I didn't feel like Donald Trump, to me, had a platform that he was running on besides the cute slogans. Besides saying that Kamala Harris was going to defund the police and how bad the economy is now and how over, you know what I'm saying, how the immigrants have run over this country and things of that nature. I need more. If you want my vote, Donald Trump, I need more. Kamala Harris, if you want my vote, I'm gonna need more too. Because y'all come around and y'all get the people riled up. You want to get the people interested. But I want to see some plans. What is your 2-year plan? What is your 18-month plan? What does your first 90 days look like? What is going to be the objective of your presidency? What is going to be your legacy if you are to step into that role? As a black man, again, I haven't paid much attention to politics because I felt like they didn't apply to me. I felt like my vote did not matter. Have I voted in the past? For sure. Have I voted with being uneducated? Have I voted ignorantly in the past and voted just because someone was black? Hell yeah. But shit, way I looked at it, we could have did worse. Why not try something new? If insanity is the same thing over and over again, and I'm getting the same results, if I see something new, why not? You said no politician plans will ever last since it's a different game behind that veil curtain of politics. That's a fact, my boy. That's a super fact. We all know that they sell us pipe dreams. They sell us candies and flowers and rainbows. But when it's time to roll up them sleeves and do that work, can you get done a tenth of what you said you ran your campaign on? Can you get done a fourth of what you said you can run your campaign on? Because even if you can do that, you're doing better than a lot of these other presidents have. If you could do a portion of what you try to win your votes, win the election by, the different persuasive strategies you use to the election, you use to win the election, you use to win votes. If you could do a fourth of what you tell us you're gonna do on both sides, we'd be in a lot better spot. But like Sober said, once you get into office, we all know it ain't that easy to invoke change. It ain't that easy to infuse change. It's not that easy to inspire change. But Donald Trump also showed us this in his presidency. It ain't that hard either. It ain't that hard either because we saw him move a lot real quick. Was it radical? Was it, you know what I'm saying? Was it just at times? That's up for y'all to decide. But what I did see, I saw him make a lot of moves really quick. You said America first, but I will bet 90% of America has a foreign TV or a cell phone in their household. You ain't never lied. You ain't never lied. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about, again, the presidential debate. Who did y'all have winning the debate? I appreciate everybody that pulled up. Please hit the likes, man. I'm real, again, going to continue to try to bring new discussion points, new conversations to this platform. We still gonna talk battle rap for sure. And we definitely gonna talk about a lot of battle rap tomorrow. And I got a challenge for him. Y'all gonna love this one. But I appreciate everybody that pulled up, man. Hit the likes on the way out. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. That way you are alerted each and every time that I go live, and it's pretty consistently. So I salute everybody that's with me on X. I salute everybody that's with me on YouTube. Unfortunately, I didn't get my Instagram live up like I wanted to, but I will work on that going forward. But this is Temperature Check. I am your host as always, man. Mr. Check the Temperature. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. And you know the motto, I ain't just getting started. I've been here.